bitches. Yeah. Sassy girls are just bitches. I mean, frankly, do I need to prove this? No, I certainly don't. See, we've seen this all the time, you know, these girls who come at you with an attitude, you know, they're sassy. You know, they're not sassy, they're annoying, okay? Sassiness is cute with, like, say, you know, a 6-year-old. That's cute, it's adorable, right? But a grown woman, I mean, a woman over the age of 18, 20? No, it's annoying. And when the woman gets up there like she's 30, 40, what have you, she's just pathetic. I mean, really, it's not cute. Now, when I say sassy, I'm not talking about a woman who is self-confident, self-possessed, who perhaps is in a work situation and has to be very direct and upfront as to what has to get done. No, I'm not talking about that, which is perfectly respectable, see? No, what I'm talking about when I say sassy, I'm talking about an aggressiveness that takes place in a social situation where, you know, that kind of aggressiveness is just completely out of place. See, in a work environment, it's perfectly legitimate to be very direct, very aggressive, knowing what you want, and pushing people in order to get what you want. Be it a man or a woman, I don't have a problem with that at all. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, say, you're having a drink, you're hanging out with some friends, and some woman comes at you with an attitude, and she thinks it's cute. She thinks that it makes her more attractive. That's what I'm talking about. See, and here's a weird situation. The reason I have to do this video, as a matter of fact, is because a lot of guys have been sort of like brainwashed into thinking that a sassy girl is a girl that they should want. No, you shouldn't want a sassy girl. Not at all. See, you might think it's cute, and in small doses it might be cute. But see, in the long run, an overly aggressive woman, a woman who is just annoying and has an attitude all the time, it's exhausting, it's unpleasant. See, and why would you want to be with a girl who's unpleasant? Well, what's the point in that? There's no point in it at all. It's foolish. It's like saying, you know, like, I'm gonna live, you know, sleep every night inside an Iron Maiden, right? I mean, why would you do that? It's just stupid. Same with dating a sassy girl, a girl with an attitude, a girl who is overly aggressive in social situations, and more to the point, can be overly aggressive in moments of vulnerability. Where you know, the man-woman thing, where the reason, one of the big reasons to be with a woman is to get that emotional support that every man occasionally needs. Now, if you're with a woman who is sassy and has an attitude, she's never going to do that. On the contrary, at the moments when you are vulnerable, when things are going badly at work, say, or you're not quite there yet where you want to be at work or in your career or business or whatever, and you need that emotional support, a girl with an attitude, a sassy girl, she's going to kick you in the balls, metaphorically speaking. Perhaps even literally, for crying out loud. Yeah, because these poor sassy girls, they've been socialized into confusing social aggressiveness with self-confidence. They are, in point of fact, more often than not, very insecure women. They are extremely insecure women, insecure in their femininity, insecure in their social environment, in their social place. And they try to mask that insecurity with this inappropriate aggressiveness that they try to cover up as being sassy. But it's just a mask of a weakling. That's what it is, of a social weakling. You see? And so what you have to do is just, you know, draw the line right then and there. I mean, you're with some woman, right? Some woman that perhaps you like very much. Perhaps she's got a lot of qualities, okay? Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that she does have an attitude, and she is sassy in that, I hate that word. That's why I'm saying it so much. You know, it's sort of like a slightly like a masochistic thing. Yeah, I hear that word and my teeth just, I just get on edge, you know, sassy. Anyway. Fuck that. You have to tell her. You have to go right up to her and say, you know, why are you giving me this attitude that's incredibly unpleasant? You got to tell her right up front. Presumably, if you're interested in her and you want something with her, you got to tell her, okay? you got to draw the line. Basically, you have to flip that aggressiveness towards her, okay? But momentarily. Because see, girls cannot stand very long a man who is socially aggressive with them. And they get freaked out and they collapse ultimately, or they run away, you know. But if you're presumably in a relationship with a girl and she's giving you attitude, right? What you do is very simple. You say to her, why are you giving me this attitude? And she's going to argue with you, of course. She's going to say, no, I'm not giving you an attitude, blah, blah. And you just flat out interrupt her and you say, yes, you are. Stop doing it. Just tell her that. Here comes the hard part. She's going to argue with you. She's going to argue with you and try to hook you into an argument with her. You know, she's going to say all kinds of things, and some of the things she's going to deliberately try to provoke you. Okay? Provoke you in order to get a response, right? In order to make you lose your cool, right? Because you've just dropped a big bomb on a girl like this, right? And it's it's going to be rough going for her psychologically, and she's going to want to attack, and she will attack you, right? And what you have to do is just keep your cool, keep your counsel, and just ignore her. Yeah, just ignore her. And if she says something and demands a response, you just say, okay, fine. But you know, that okay, fine, which means basically, I don't give a shit what you have to say, I'm ignoring you, right? She'll go a little bit nuts for a while. But in the relatively short to medium term, I mean, I'm talking like in the next day or week, she'll come around. She'll just start to question how she's acting towards you. And she'll end this sassiness. Oh yeah. I know this because I've seen it, because I've done it. Oh yeah. I've had more than one girl who is sassy. Now, what's important is to understand where this is coming from. It comes from, like I said before, insecurity. And a lot of times you're going to find that you start to date some girl, right? Some girl that has a lot of qualities. She's attractive, she's this, that, the other. And you know, you're dating her, you're fucking her, what have you, and she might come up with this attitude. And she'll try to like laugh it off and act all playful. You have to understand where it's coming from. Okay, and this is important. You see, it's coming not only from her insecurity, it's coming from the fact that she might be getting into you in a big way. And it makes her very nervous. It makes her very nervous, very insecure. And she tries to mask this insecurity by giving you this attitude, by acting socially aggressively towards you in a way that's completely inappropriate, right? She thinks that by doing this, she'll gain the upper hand. And this is the tragedy. This is what I have noticed in other men and other couples. See, a lot of times the guy will put up with it. The guy will put up with it and just sort of like pretend it's not there, but not do anything about it, not draw a line. And what happens is that the girl falls into this pattern of acting very aggressively towards the guy, and the guy puts up with it, and the relationship is a nightmare for the guy, and he gets used to it, and she gets used to it. She gets used to treating him like dirt, because that social aggressiveness inevitably turns into just treating him contemptuously and belittling him. And it all comes from the fact that originally the girl felt insecure in the relationship. Yeah, because see, what happens is that, see, at the start of a relationship a lot of times, a girl will start to realize the quality of the guy that she's got, right? You, right? And you might think, well, you know, you're no big deal, but she'll look at you and start to realize, you know, you got a lot of qualities, and this will make her feel insecure, okay? That's where the insecurity is coming from. And in my own case, well, I don't know if I'm going to sound like an asshole or not, but I'll just say it. See, a lot of girls that I've dated have felt very insecure around me because I'm pretty smart and I've done a lot of things in my life. And this makes them feel very nervous when they're dating me. They start to wonder, you know, why am I dating them? They start to get nervous about the fact that we're together, thinking that they start to get the imposter syndrome. See what I mean? They start to think to themselves, you know, why is this great guy who's a big brain and he's got, you know, money and he's got experience and he's got a lot of mileage, why is he with me? You see? You see where the origin of the insecurity? And this is my own personal case, but I've seen similar situations with other women, with other guys, of course. And it's their insecurity. You see? So you have to diffuse this insecurity. That's what you have to do. Along with, you know, telling her, stop it with the attitude, I don't have to put up with it, right? You have to diffuse this insecurity and start to prop her up in ways that you want. Or let me phrase this. Prop her up insofar as qualities about her that you appreciate. Don't just say that, oh, you think that she's wonderful. No. Say specifically, oh, I like when you do this, or I like that you do that. I like that you cook for me, or I like that you take care of me. I like that you fix up my place, and put everything in order and fold my clothes and all that. Thank you. That makes me feel so good and so wonderful and what have you. And when you do that, when you praise a girl that you're starting out a relationship with, right? And you make her feel less secure, or more to the point, you make her feel confident. Confident because you're praising her for specific actions that you like, that you genuinely like, of course, right? She'll start to do more of that, and she'll feel more confident. And this attitude that she might have had at some point, well, it'll start to diminish, okay? You see the dynamic going on? See, because a lot of times a girl does not understand why you are with her. So if you tell her what you like that she does for you, cooking or cleaning or this, that, the other, doesn't matter, right? Not sex. No, I'm talking about the little things, the domestic stuff in your life. If you tell a girl that you like when she does this for you, she will do more of it for you. And she will feel more confident and secure with you. And therefore her attitude, her bitchiness or sassiness, whatever you want to call it, it's going to radically go down. I always find it so funny. See, we guys, we are insecure in a whole host of different areas in our life, right? And you, I know it, every guy knows what we're insecure about, right? We think we're not cool, we think that we look lousy, we're worried about boogers falling out of our nose, what have you. All kinds of, serious and trivial worries that make us feel insecure. And we try to control our insecurity and get over it. But we don't recognize that a girl, a woman that we find extremely attractive, a woman that perhaps has every quality we could possibly want in a woman, well, she feels insecure too. Yeah. And a lot of times, an attitude, most of the times I would argue, an attitude, sassiness, bitchiness, call it what you will, comes from that. You have to manage it. You have to put yourself in her shoes. You have to empathize. Empathize in the sense of trying to understand her point of view, try to look out onto the world through her eyes and understand what would make her feel insecure. What is she afraid of? What are the things that make her feel tense and make her react in ways and behave in ways that you don't want her to behave in? And more to the point, how can you turn that insecurity into confidence so that she acts in ways that you like? You see? Always try to put yourself in the shoes of other people. And that includes the women that you're with. Never feel afraid of projecting your imagination into somebody else and trying to look out on the world from their point of view. If you do that, you'll get a lot out of it. There's a fashion currently of not doing that. That you cannot know how somebody else is. In point of fact, these SJWs and what have you have a hissy fit when some, say, white guy tries to write from the point of view of a black girl, right? But of course, that's what great artists do all the time. They project, right? They project their imagination into the being of some other person and try to see the world from their point of view, right? That's what great artists do because they come back with an account, right? What you should do is basically the same thing. And I can't emphasize this enough. You have to nip this sassiness in the bud. If you meet some girl, right, some girl or woman or some person, right, who's giving you an attitude, right, and you don't have to be around them, you can leave, right? But if this sassiness, this attitude develops with a girl that you're romantically attached to, that presumably you've invested a lot of time and effort into the relationship, it can be a fucking disaster. Because sassiness, attitude, bitchiness, it inevitably leads to the woman sliding into contempt for you. Inevitably, okay? It's a downward slope. From sassiness that might be cute the first few times, it becomes an attitude, and from that attitude it becomes contempt. And from contempt, well, then all bets are off. Because if a woman is with you and she feels contempt for you, justified or not, well, then inevitably she's going to fuck around with you. She's going to make your life fucking miserable, okay? And I have noticed so many times that when a woman feels contempt for her man, it's for one of two reasons. Either the man is a fucking failure, right? Or more often than not, the guy failed to draw the line early on. Failed to draw the line and say, no, I'm not going to put up with this attitude. Now, I told you before in this video exactly how to handle a girl in your life who's got an attitude, right? Who's sassy and who's bitchy and what have you. You just got to go up to her and tell her, don't do it anymore. I don't like it. And, and that's it, right? If she continues, leave her. Leave her. Just tell her, look, you keep on acting this way, I'm going to leave you, say, by Monday. She keeps on acting that way, and on Monday you leave. And you don't look back. And two things are going to happen, or one of two things are going to happen. See? On the one hand, she will chase you and try to patch things up, right? Or on the other hand, she will say, oh, he was weak, he couldn't handle me, some bullshit like that, right? Either way, either outcome is good for you. Yeah, because see, if she tries to patch things up, then she'll recognize two things. Number one, her attitude is just uncalled for. And number two, you're valuable. You're valuable to her. And she doesn't want to leave you. And so she's proving to you, by chasing you, that she's willing to alter her behavior in order to hold on to you. And what does that mean? It means that potentially you have a viable relationship, okay? So yeah, that's good. Good for you, right? And if on the other hand, she doesn't chase you, and on the contrary, just says shit about you and says that you can't handle a strong woman or what have you, well, then you dodged a bullet now, didn't you? Yeah, because a girl like that, see, eventually it'll slide into contempt for you, and you'll be in a fucking miserable situation. So either outcome of you ditching her because of her attitude is good for you. Never be afraid of ending a relationship, no matter how good the relationship might have been at some point or other. No matter how much promise the relationship might have. Never be afraid of ending a relationship in any context, be it business relationship, friendships, romantic attachments, familial attachments, it does not matter. I did a whole video about it. You can find it right here. Never be afraid of ending a relationship, especially a romantic relationship, especially when it's over how a couple or a woman treats you on a daily basis, see? Because ultimately, the sexiness of a girl, how hot she is, you kind of like forget about it after a while. It becomes like, you don't even notice it, okay? And how intelligent she is and how smart and how much she likes the same books that you do or the same music or the same movies or what have you, that's actually not that important. Yeah, you might think it is, no, but it's really not. What's really important, what is essential in the man-woman relationship is that daily interaction. The way that the man treats the woman and the woman treats the man on a regular basis, day by day. That's the key element of any successful relationship. Now that treatment, if the man treats the woman and the woman treats the man in a kind way, kindly, not like gently, like made of glass, no, but in a gentle and humorous way and kindly and never jabbing and never being, aggressive, well, then it's going to be a happy relationship, which is what you want, right? But if the woman, in this case, is being overly aggressive with you, when you're like on the defensive, what kind of happiness do you think you'll get out of it? And she might be very, very attractive. All your friends might say, man, you bagged a hot one, right? But if she's a bitch to you, well, then what's the point?